Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. Across 3 episodes, we talk with Bea Rebollo from Renishaw Plc, a global engineering technology group who create high-precision technology for metrology and healthcare. In this episode, Bea explains the history of the company and her start with them 20 years ago, the company's progression to 2,500 Sage CRM users, and how the product is linked to other systems across the company. Welcome. This is another episode of the Talking CRM podcast with David, that's me, and Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
That's me, yes. Hello, David.
We're joined by a long-term customer and sort of an old friend of Sage CRM, a lady called Bea Rebollo, who's coming to us from Renishaw. Now, Renishaw, one of the world's leading engineering and scientific technology companies, they're based in the UK, but they have offices all around the world. Their expertise is in precision measurement equipment, healthcare services, 3D printing, all sorts of really interesting stuff. And I know Bea and I met each other many years ago at the beginning of their Sage CRM journey. And it's interesting to catch up, we thought, with her and see what's going on. So hello, Bea, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me.
Did I get everything right about you so far? Your name and
Absolutely. I hear so many permutations that anything goes these days. That's fine. But yeah, everybody knows me as Bea or Bea or Bea or whatever. So yes, thank you.
Where does your last name come from? What's the history?
Rebollo. I'm Spanish, so my actual name is Beatriz.
Oh. See, I didn't know that.
Spanish.
We've learned that new, Jeff. So you have been, if I'm not mistaken, with the company for nearly as long as Jeff and I have been doing Sage CRM. Is that about right?
I joined in the year 2000, so 23 years now.
Oh my.
Yes.
And that means that we are exact in the same cohort of workers as we go through with our experience of you with Renishaw and us with what was back then a fantastic startup called eWare.
So we all joined as small teenagers, of course. We are that young. Tell us a bit more about Renishaw, Bea. So I gave a quick précis there. Tell me more about the size of the company, and then we'll go into the story about what CRM is all about for you guys.
Yeah, the company has 77 offices around the world, 36 countries. It's about 5,000 employees worldwide, 3,000 of whom work in the UK. It started as a tiny little company, a 2-man band, back in 1972. 73, in fact. He now has a revenue of around 700, just under 700 million pounds. So it has grown a lot, and it's branched off into healthcare, for example, which was not the original idea at all. It's a very big company, but it feels like a small. It has a small company feel to it.
I remember coming to see you, and it was Under Edge. That's where you are in Gloucestershire. For the international listeners, that's down Cotswolds Way, one of those lovely named villages. I think Under Edge means by the cliffs or something, isn't it? We'll have a test at the end, Jeff. I think it's got to do with escarpments. It's the way the Cotswolds flows down towards the River Severn, I think.
There you go.
Yes. And that means it's to the west of London.
Yes.
Keep going west.
The right side of London, Jeff. So talk to me about the original days of CRM then, Bea. When you joined, was CRM in place? Did you come along with the project? How did you get going?
We actually were using Goldmine when I first joined, a different group. I wasn't part of the original group, but there was a group who decided we needed to find something a little bit better, a little bit more robust.
And back in those days, it would have been a tiny amount of people compared to now, yes?
Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, a handful of people. We were already using Sage ERP. So it felt like a natural progression, really, to evaluate Sage CRM. And that's exactly what we did just before I joined, unfortunately. But that's exactly what prompted them. Essentially, Goldmine was not robust enough for us. We now have around 2,500 Sage CRM users in the company. It's huge for us. It is a huge amount of users for us.
So I'm thinking that stretches across all divisions, whether you're marketing,
Absolutely.
selling, servicing.
Absolutely. Main use of Sage CRM is leads, opportunities, and case management. That's what we use it for the most, really. And sales managers love the reports straight out of CRM, and they can keep an eye on how many leads and have they been converted to opportunities, and if not, why not, etc., etc. Yes.
It's interesting you say that sales managers love their reports, because Jeff, we have found in the past that sometimes salespeople are often the most difficult ones to get on board with CRM, aren't they?
They are, but it depends on the overall culture of the organisation. I think that's worth coming back to. But Bea, if I don't mind jumping back onto the number of users that you have, just so that people who didn't hear first time can hear again the number of users within the system. Can you repeat that, the number of people using Sage CRM?
Yes, it's 2,500 thereabouts.
And to let me drill into this, because that makes you one of the larger implementations of Sage CRM around the world. David is chuckling away because our standard implementation size has changed over the years from when we more or less started, which was around 30, to now it's sub 10 and probably sub 9 in terms of the standard implementation, with then very rapidly people adding in more licenses afterwards. But people start small and grow big. You've done that path. You've ended up with 2,500. Can I ask around the way in which you serve those 2,500 users? Are you using a single system, or have you broken that up into a series of island systems?
There are 4 separate regional data centers. So anything that we do in one system, we try and standardize it, but we do have to do it essentially 4 times. There are some regional differences, of course, but overall, we try to keep it standard in 4 different areas.
Is that done because of the technical challenges with scaling, or is that done for commercial reasons?
It's mainly commercial reasons. We used to have one big, say, CRM for the entire company, but it's so big, we thought that it would be better. And also within the company, other systems are separated into these 4 RDCs. So we thought that, again, natural progression, say CRM would be divided into these 4 RDCs, which has good and bad points, really, as you can imagine. If we put something live, we have to do it 4 times.
Out of those 4 different systems, I'm going to drill down on this, because, again, we've got many people who will be interested and concerned about the questions of Sage CRM as a scalar product when it comes to integrations. So your largest system within the 4, that must be around between 800 and 900 if they're fairly equally split. Is that correct?
Actually, the biggest one is we're looking at a good 600 to 700 people for the bigger one. For the bigger site, which is in Europe.
Okay, so you're looking at, right, I see. So 600 to 700 people. That's still a very chunky number of people working on Sage CRM. And do you use multi-server approach with that, or do you find that you've managed? So again, it's a very sophisticated use of Sage CRM working with multi-servers.
Yes, we do. We have 8 servers, 4 application servers, and 4 database servers. 2 per RDC.
Okay, thank you.
Thinking about that evolution then into this sized application you now have, integration points into other systems, do you have any? And if so, what do they do and what are they providing?
We have many of those, actually. So, for example, we bear in mind most of the integrations we write in-house as well.
Right.
We integrate with Marketo, for example.
Okay.
We use Marketo as a marketing tool. Again, it's company-wide. It's not just for, say, CRM use. It's for everybody. So we send contact details and company details up to Marketo from, say, CRM, receive data from Marketo and populate, say, CRM. We integrate with Sage ERP, but not the out-of-the-box solution, because that didn't work for us. Again, we have to write that. We integrate with manufacturing systems, Sightline at the moment. So because we use case management in Sage CRM, we raise C cars in Sage CRM. It creates a complaint in Sightline. All the information in Sightline comes back to Sage CRM. So many, many, many integrations.
Customers in your context, by the way, I probably should set that scene a bit more. Are they end customers or are they distributors, resellers, or have you got a mix of all?
We have a mix, yeah.
And again, David is always so keen to move on to the commercial things when I'm very, very interested in the technical matters and how you do the integrations. With those integrations that you've created, whether it's with Marketo or whether you'll roll your own with the integration with the accounting system, have you done that entirely by yourself, or have you used other integration tools to help you along the way?
It varies. For Marketo, we used their own APIs, but everything else is written in-house. We have a big IT and security department in the company. It's nearly 100 of us. Sage CRM, however, is handled by one person, me. But we do write as much as possible in-house.
That really fits the culture because you're an engineering company. You know how things work and you're not scared of the plumbing. With APIs, have you found that Sage CRM offers you the capacity to be able to do all of the integration work that you want?
Yes, believe you me, we have used your customizations and your API heavily. We've written DLLs, we use ASP pages. We do use all the integration tools that Sage CRM has to offer.
In the next episode, we continue the conversation about integration toolsets, the current state of usage of the product, and Bea's favorite use cases inside their Sage CRM instance.
You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.